got out and deck to compete with today, or else they'll be sitting doing this next Friday. Well, we are talking about something which may come as a surprise to many parents, but new figures out this week reveal that, and this really is very disturbing, 3 children in every classroom are
diagnosed with a mental health problem. And because of that, this week is Britain's first Children's Mental Health Week, and it's aimed to encourage parents to talk openly with their children about their feelings.
Now, with us right now, this is Sarah Matthews, who is a mum. Her daughter Charlie is in the studio today. Her daughter Charlie, she's 11 now, isn't she?
Yeah.
We're going back to when she was 7, and completely out of the blue for you, things got very, very scary. Matter of fact, they don't get much scarier. She attempted to take her own life. Tell us about this.
Well, she sort of got to 6 years old and then she began to struggle a bit and started to say things like she didn't like herself, and had real emotional outbursts and not cope very well socially and out in settings. But particularly the worst time was at 7 years old, when I walked into the kitchen and actually found Charlie with a knife against her wrist.
And I just can't even imagine. That sounds something like horrific. From a horror movie.
You blame yourself, I presume, straight away with this.
Really, I couldn't blame myself. I knew something was going on with Charlie. The worst bit was having to remain incredibly calm for her, when really I wanted to sort of cry and scream and get upset, and I couldn't. I just had to try and calm her down. I took her outside, just sat on the swing seat, and then tried to talk to her about how she felt. But at the time, she just kept saying she felt different, Charlie, that something was wrong, that she didn't fit in.
Because they're so young, they often don't understand a lot of their feelings. Did you at that point, I was thinking, if that happened to me, you'd probably say, has she fallen out with a friend at school? Is she maybe struggling in class? Did you just think it's something like that was sort of...
I don't know. She was in a very small private school, so she'd been with the same children since she was 18 months old. So I really was just confused about it all, because it was the same friends. She did start to say, so-and-so doesn't like me, they're looking at me funny. She misinterpreted other people's sort of facial reactions and things all the time. I think social settings just become for her.
And did she get very withdrawn because of that and then not want to go to them?
Absolutely. She cried when I dropped her to school. She cried when I picked her up.
Now, initially, she was prescribed antidepressants for this.
She was. She was actually diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome just before she was...
I want to say here, because this spectrum is so large, Asperger's is on the autism spectrum, and a lot of people, I know, because we know people and stuff, and they'll be outraged and they'll say, this is not a repercussion of this, and don't associate my child with this. But what we want to say is, Asperger's syndrome is it's termed here as a pervasive development disorder that falls within the autistic spectrum, and it affects 1 in 200 more commonly in men than in women. This is an aspect of Asperger's in her case.
Well, I think basically what they said is her anxiety, part of Asperger's is they're very anxious. So what had happened in Charlie's case is she becomes so anxious that then that caused the depression, because it lasted for some time before we got the right help.
And had anybody kind of hinted at that when this was happening to you? How long did it take you to get
I mean,
the diagnosis?
I myself, Charlie was hearing voices and things like that, so I myself believed it was a mental health issue.
So she told you she was hearing voices?
Yes, she heard voices for probably the 6 months or so before, when she was sort of 6.5 to 7. So I thought it was a mental health condition. I wondered if she had bipolar or something like that. So I insisted that she be seen by CAMS, the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service, and they saw us twice, and they thought straight away that Charlie had Asperger's syndrome.
Charlie's here. Come on in, Charlie. We do like talking about you with you not here.
You look beautiful, Charlie.
So you're very, very beautiful, and you're 11 now, yeah? Wow, what a dress. What a dress,
Is it especially for us you've dressed up today?
Yeah, that's a special Floriana dress made especially for you.
Charlie, so here we are, we're talking about you today, and we look at you and we say, well, what's wrong with her? Except that she's just beautiful and so happy looking. How are you feeling, and how are you controlling what was going on in your head?
Well, I've got a much better school now, which I'm enjoying. I've got lots of friends. My teacher's really nice, and we every day, even if we're not having a good day, there's 3 in our class, but the boys gone skiing, so me and this other girl are with our teacher all the time, so we just do our maths, and we sits, we get a lot of attention, so it's quite nice.
Some people say it's very hard to talk about your feelings. Grown-ups find it hard to talk about their feelings. Do you know now, if you're feeling something, how to talk to mummy about it, how to talk to
well,
your
if I'm at
teachers?
school, I still don't really say anything. I don't know, but I don't actually feel it until I'm not well, until I'm not. So
And Mum, can you tell when she's not going to be
Yeah,
well?
Charlie gets incredibly anxious. Part of Asperger's is not understanding emotions and things, so they're taught really well. Charlie's in a very specialised school now, so they're taught different stages to realise inside, like to be aware, aren't you? You've got plans to put in place when they start to feel the way they do. They have counsellors and people to talk to all the time.
And I'm one of the counsellors.
Yeah, you're a school counsellor.
You are as well.
School
That's good.
counsellor now.
Yeah, that's good.
And what about you, Sarah? Do you get help to know how to help Charlie understand?
We
her
have
feelings?
now. It takes quite a long time to get things put in place, but yes, we've got loads of support now. We've got social workers and things that help.
And these moods that you had and these voices that you had in your head, and
I still have them.
yeah. And now, as a counsellor yourself, are you aware that Mum is there to talk to, and that you should make her aware of what's going on before you decide on doing anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk to me openly. We are very open with Dad as well, don't we?
And I also talk on the phone.
Oh, you talk to your boyfriend all the time.
Do you now? You're running up the phone bills, are you, talking to your boyfriend?
Do you know, Charlie, we have got a lot of mums getting in touch here. Charlotte, you're one, you're talking about your 6-year-old here. Sarah, you talk about your daughter self-harming. Leanne says, I'm going through a similar thing with my 13-year-old who's been diagnosed with anxiety disorder, a form of OCD. And Debbie, you're talking about your son. To all those mums who are out there and they have got children who are doing or were doing what you went through, what would you say to those mummies?
Well, one day they'll come round and it'll be much better, but it will take a while, so you just have to,
you kind of have to find something that you love as well. I think you have to find something to be passionate about. So Charlie was in a place where she found everything very difficult. All the brownies stopped. She couldn't cope with all of those social things. So she had to find something she loved to give them.
Presumably you love nothing more than Charlie.
Exactly.
Give each other a hug there. Let's see the love here. Let's feel that love. It's lovely to see you both on television today. Do you know, if I would just say to my wife, Charlie, if my wife would wear lovely clothes like that and a bow and everything, that's what I look here. Why can't you copy
This
something
beautiful
like
dress.
that? That's
It's
really
stunning. You look
it's
gorgeous.
wonderful. Are you going to be a sort of TV star or film star when you grow up, or?
Well, I don't want to be too famous, because when you get too famous, some people, you don't. I just like being who I am for what I am.
We decided we can't be too famous. We've never been too famous. That's
well, we've stayed.
That's why we stayed here on a Friday.
But you just be who you are. You're absolutely right, and you're lovely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And just to say that this is going to be the subject of our phone-in today. We've got Dr. Ranj here later, so any concerns you have, please get in touch.
If you've money